Let's dive right into one of the most talked about stories shaking up the NFL right now, centered around one of the league's top wide receivers, Terry McLaurin. This guy has been a vital piece for the Washington Commanders, especially considering the team's recent push to turn things around after a few seasons that didn't quite meet expectations. But here's where things get interesting. McLaurin has unexpectedly walked away from the voluntary off-season activities, or OTAs, and as of now, he hasn't come back. That's a big deal because even though these OTAs are technically voluntary, players who show up usually stick around to make the most of the time on the field. What's fueling McLaurin's decision? It boils down to contract frustration. The star receiver is reportedly fed up with the lack of progress on a long-term deal. And it's easy to see why he'd be frustrated. The guy has poured his heart into this team, showing up every week and giving everything he's got, even when the Commanders as a whole haven't been able to deliver big results. Now, with a new quarterback in place and a fresh coaching staff trying to change the fortunes of Washington, McLaurin expected more movement on his contract negotiations, but that hasn't happened yet, leading to this standoff. If you've been following NFL narratives closely over the past few months, you'll know that the Washington Commanders have often been mentioned as a model for what the New England Patriots could aim for in their own rebuild. What I mean by that is the Commanders have managed to claw their way back into playoff contention with a relatively young roster, including a young quarterback and a coaching staff that many consider to be a bit of a gamble, a so-called the retread defensive coordinator who turned into the head coach. Washington has shown that with the right mix of youth and experience, it's possible to reach the postseason and even win games. But here's the catch. That success depends heavily on players like Terry McLaurin. Without your top receiver fully committed and locked in, it's hard to sustain that momentum. So the question starts to buzz, could the Commanders, frustrated with the contract deadlock, consider trading McLaurin? And if they do, would the Patriots be in the mix to make a move? Right now, the answer seems to lean toward probably not, at least in the immediate term. Both sides appear to be digging in their heels, trying to negotiate from a position of strength. It's classic NFL business, posturing and pushing until one side cracks or they find common ground. Still, the possibility isn't off the table, especially if things escalate. The Patriots have been known to keep their ears open and look for those kinds of opportunities, especially with their current roster needing weapons for their young quarterback, Drake May. A player of McLaurin's caliber would be a major asset, no doubt. It's a conversation that's worth keeping an eye on because it reflects the larger trend of how teams are managing their young stars and contracts in an era where cap space and long-term planning are critical. It's also interesting to consider what kind of package might be necessary to pry McLaurin away from Washington. We've seen in the past how teams have been willing to trade second-round picks or even packages involving current players to acquire a top-tier wide receiver. But in this case, it would likely take more than just a mid-round pick or a couple of role players. The Commanders would want real value back, something that reflects McLaurin's impact on the field. At the same time, the Patriots would have to weigh the cost against the potential gain. Would giving up draft capital and some roster pieces be worth it to get an immediate upgrade at wide receiver? The relationship between McLaurin and the Commanders is probably not broken enough yet to push through a trade. This feels more like a negotiation tactic on both sides, a way to get the other party to budge on contract terms without actually pulling the trigger on a deal or a trade. But if things deteriorate further, it would be a smart move for the Patriots front office, led by people like Elliott Wolf and Mike Vrabel, to be ready to pounce. NFL front offices have to play this game carefully, balancing public relations, locker room morale, and the cold, hard reality of roster building. Switching gears slightly, there's a quirky piece of NFL trivia that has caught some attention. Recently, it's actually possible to score exactly 1 point in a game. Now, most people know that an extra point after a touchdown is worth 1 point, but that's a bit of a technicality. What's wild is that there's a specific rule that allows for a defensive team to score a single point during a conversion attempt. How does this work? Imagine this. After a touchdown, the scoring team lines up to kick the extra point, but the kick is blocked. The defense scoops up the ball and runs it all the way back to the other end zone. Normally, that would mean 2 points for the defense But under this rare rule, if a safety is scored during the try, the defensive team only gets 1 point. This oddity was put into the NFL rulebook fairly recently, just in 2015. This rule surfaced in the social media world when the Atlanta Falcons posted some photos from their OTAs showing players wearing numbers 28 and 3. A clear nod to the infamous Super Bowl loss where they blew a 28-3 lead. The post was quickly taken down after fans noticed and called it out, but the next day the Falcons cheekily posted players wearing numbers 34 and 1. That sparked playful banter online because people pointed out that you can have a 34-1 score, or can you? Thanks to this obscure 1-point safety rule, it turns out, yes, it is possible. Back to the Patriots news, there's some concern over defensive coordinator Terrell Williams, who has been notably absent from these voluntary offseason sessions. There hasn't been much detailed information released, but Williams is reportedly working his way back from a health issue. In the meantime, Zach Core, the inside linebackers coach, has stepped in as the interim defensive coordinator. Core has been quietly building a reputation, coming up through the ranks after an internship at Ohio State and having worked with both Mike Vrabel and Williams during their time with the Tennessee Titans. While he's still relatively new to the coordinator spotlight, early signs suggest he's handling the role well. Williams has publicly expressed full confidence in Core, praising his intelligence and his ability to connect with players. Big, crucial skill in a coaching staff led by someone like Vrabel, who values toughness and communication. Core's interim role isn't permanent, and when Williams returns, Core is expected to return to his duties coaching the inside linebackers. One of the key players Core will work with is Robert Spillane, a new addition to the linebacker group who's already been described as having a coach-like presence on the field. Having leaders like Spillane can ease the transition during these coaching shifts, and there's more for Patriots fans to chew on when it comes to the team's identity on the field. Rumors are swirling about potential changes to their uniforms. While the navy blue color will remain the staple, there's a possibility that the silver pants, a classic look from the era when Tom Brady was leading the team, will make a comeback. Photos from recent team shoots hint at a return to that traditional style, swapping out the modern navy on navy look that's been prevalent for several seasons. The uniforms might also feature some updated red piping on the shoulders, giving a fresh but respectful nod to the past. All of these moves, from personnel to aesthetics, seem to be part of a larger effort to re-energize the Patriots as they head into the 2025 season. With a new quarterback in Drake May and a coaching staff adjusting to changes, this blend of old school vibes and new talent could create a perfect storm for success. It's a story worth following closely as the offseason progresses and the team prepares for training camp and the challenges ahead. Looking deeper into what this offseason means for the Patriots, there's a clear sense that the team is in a transitional phase, but one filled with cautious optimism. The potential to shake up the roster with players like Terry McLaurin, should the trade talks ever come to fruition, highlights how hungry the front office is to accelerate the rebuild. It's not just about adding names, it's about finding the right fit for a system that demands versatility, toughness, and consistent production. Drake May, the young quarterback the Patriots have invested in, is a big part of this equation. He's got the arm, the mobility, and the football IQ that can set him up for success. But every quarterback needs reliable weapons to thrive in the NFL's speed and complexity. McLaurin, with his route running skills, contested catchability, and knack for making big plays, fits that mold perfectly. The question becomes whether the Patriots are willing to part with draft capital or role players to acquire him, especially when considering the salary cap implications. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our New England Patriots. And don't be shy, share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers and excitement are swirling in New England as the possibility of Tyreek Hill joining the New England Patriots is igniting a firestorm among fans and analysts alike. The buzz started quietly, but quickly grew louder, hinting at what could be one of the most thrilling acquisitions in recent NFL history. Known for his blazing speed and explosive playmaking ability, Hill's potential arrival is stirring hopes that the Patriots might reclaim their dominance in the AFC East and perhaps the entire league. For years, the Patriots have been a symbol of strategic brilliance and steady success under the guidance of their legendary coach. Yet, as recent seasons have seen ups and downs, fans are eager for a game-changing addition to their roster. Hill, a dynamic wide receiver with a knack for turning seemingly routine plays into highlight reel moments, fits that mold perfectly. His ability to stretch defenses with his unparalleled speed and agility could complement the Patriots' offensive schemes in a way few players can. The rumors first surfaced through social media chatter and anonymous insider reports suggesting the Patriots might be gearing up to offer a lucrative deal to bring Hill on board. While nothing official has been confirmed, the speculation alone has sent fan forums and sports talk shows into a frenzy. Patriot supporters envision the explosive possibilities. Imagine Hill weaving through defenses at Gillette Stadium, providing quarterback Mac Jones with an electrifying target capable of breaking open games in an instant. Critics, of course, are cautioning patience, pointing out the challenges of fitting a player with such a high-profile reputation into a team known for its disciplined and structured approach. There are also questions about salary cap implications and how the Patriots would balance their roster to accommodate a player like Hill. Still, the allure of his talent seems to outweigh the concerns, especially for fans desperate for a spark to elevate the team's offensive firepower. If the deal materializes, it would mark a bold statement from the Patriots front office, signaling a readiness to invest in star power to complement their existing strengths. Hill's presence could also bring renewed energy to the locker room and fan base, reigniting hopes for a Super Bowl push after seasons marked by inconsistency. The synergy between Hill's speed and the Patriots' strategic mind could create a new blueprint for success in New England. As the rumor mill churns and the offseason approaches, all eyes will be on the Patriots' moves. Whether Tyreek Hill becomes a Patriot or remains a tantalizing what if, the buzz alone has already injected fresh excitement into the franchise's narrative. Fans can only dream of those explosive plays and game-changing moments, waiting eagerly to see if this electrifying possibility will become a reality. For now, the story of Tyreek Hill and the Patriots remains a thrilling rumor, one that could reshape the future of the franchise in spectacular fashion. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our New England Patriots, be sure to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.